Just like any business, knowing your numbers can make all the difference. When you're evaluating real estate investment properties, you need to know your numbers because you need to know if it's going to be a good deal or a bad deal. In this video, I'm going to show you how to quickly analyze and quickly look at deals so you know whether they're a good deal or a bad deal. Let's go. This is the second video of a 5-part series where I'm going over 5 simple steps that you can do to get your first rental property going in 30 days or less. If you like breakfast for dinner, hit that like button. Knowing your numbers will not only help you buy better deals, but it will also help save you a ton of time. If you're looking at a deal and you can quickly tell if it's a good deal or if it's a bad deal, so you know to move on or dig in further, can make all the difference. It can save you time and it can save people you're looking to buy the house from time. And if you can quickly and efficiently do this, more people will bring you more deals because you can give them an answer quickly. So that's what I'm gonna get into in this video, and make sure to stick around to the end for the bonus tip. When I got started investing in real estate, I was super excited and I wanted to look at every single deal I could. I wasted so much time looking at deals that didn't end up being deals, and looking back, I could have easily spent 3 minutes doing an initial underwrite and I could have seen that it was going to be a bad deal. But I didn't care. I wasn't worried about being efficient. I just wanted to buy real estate. So I just looked at so many deals. I was probably looking at 5 to 10 deals a week, breaking down numbers, spending so many hours, and I didn't really buy any of them. It wasn't until I understood how to analyze and underwrite deals till I started finding the deals, because then I could tell people what I was looking for. The first thing that you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna see if it's gonna cash flow at all. And what you can quickly do is use the 1% rule. I don't wanna go into a ton of detail in it, but it's actually pretty simple. Whatever you're buying the property for, the rent needs to be at least 1% of that. So if you're going to be able to buy the house for $100,000, you need to get at least $1,000 a month rent out of it. If you're buying it for $200,000, you need to get at least $2,000 a month rent out of it. That's not gospel. Some deals that meet the 1% rule don't cash flow, and some that don't do cash flow. But it's a really, really good initial filter to see if it's worth digging into or not. So let's say you found a house that you can buy for $200,000. You looked on Zillow or Rentometer or asked an agent, and you see that you can probably rent that for $2,000. Let's dig in and see if it makes sense or not. The first thing that you're going to want to look at is the income column. As you can see, we're going to be getting $2,000 a month for this property. There's other things that can add to that income, like you can rent out laundry machines or people can pay for parking, but let's not overcomplicate this. Let's just say you're collecting $2,000 a month rent. The next input that you're going to have to look at and figure out is the expenses. Yes, you're going to be collecting $2,000 a month, but how much expenses are you going to be paying? Because you definitely want to make sure you're bringing in more money than you're spending. There's a handful or so expenses that you're going to incur when you're owning a rental property. Let's go over them and kind of talk about what general numbers you should be using. The next expense that you're going to have to accrue for monthly is your real estate taxes. You don't pay them till the end of the year, but every single month you need to set a little bit of money aside, so at the end of the year you can just simply write a check and you already have that money in the account. For this example, let's say it's $150 a month you're setting aside to pay your real estate taxes at the end of the year. And you can find those taxes on your local county tax records site, or you can even find them on Zillow. I would confirm them on the tax site, but Zillow is honestly pretty accurate in their taxes portion of the property. The next expense would be insurance. You're owning this property, so you do have to have insurance on it. I would suggest your renter getting renter's insurance, but you need to have insurance on the actual property. It's not super expensive. For a deal like this, it'd probably be about $100 a month. The next expense that you would think would be utilities, but most landlords have their tenants pay for their utilities. So the tenants are living there, so they're gonna pay your utilities, so you don't have to put anything in this part. Another thing to consider would be an HOA or homeowners association fee that you have to pay monthly or yearly. In my area, no subdivisions really have that are rental subdivisions. Some areas might have that though, so definitely check with the local homeowners association to make sure that there is or is not a fee that you're gonna have to pay. And if there is one, put it in. But for this simple deal, there's no HOA fees. Got a couple more expenses to account for. Don't get overwhelmed. This may sound like a lot, but as you start to write it down and go over this will kind of become second nature. The next expense that you're going to want to accrue for is vacancy. you have to put some money aside for when the property is not rented. You get a great tenant in there, they're gonna stay 2, 3, 4, maybe even 5 years, but eventually they are going to move out. And once they move out, you're probably gonna have to do some minor repairs, but then you're not gonna be collecting rent while you're looking to fill the property, even if there aren't any repairs. So set aside, usually most people say 5% every single month for the vacancy when it comes up. So for this property, that's $100 a month you're gonna set aside. The next expense that you need to accrue for, again, is going to be repairs or maintenance. Things are gonna happen, things are gonna get broken that are not the tenant's fault. If the tenant punches a hole in the wall or does something crazy, you're going to be able to charge them for it. But as you own houses, things happen in deferred maintenance and things just need to be taken care of. And you also need to accrue for bigger ticket items. Hopefully the roof is in good shape when you bought it, but eventually if you're gonna own this for a while, the roof is going to have to be replaced. So put money aside every single month for repairs or maintenance. Some months you'll use it, some months you won't, but you need to accrue it. For this deal, I would suggest putting about $200 a month aside. The last expense that you're gonna wanna accrue for is management. You can pay somebody else to manage your property. They're usually gonna charge about 10%. So for this deal, it'd be $200. You can manage it yourself and save that. It's a little bit of a headache, but a lot of people do it. And if you are willing to do it, it's a great way to save some money. But regardless, when you're underwriting deals, you need to put this money aside so you can pay yourself. Or if you do decide to hire it out eventually, you're not losing money. So for this deal, put $200 aside. So as you can see, we're totaling $1,590 a month of expenses, but luckily we're collecting $2,000 a month. Now that we have those two inputs, we can figure out our cash flow. We're collecting $2,000 a month in rent, and we have $1,590 a month in expenses. So if everything goes to plan, we should be collecting $410 a month of positive net cash flow. If you multiply that times 12 months, you should be getting $4,920 a year, or about $5,000 of net positive cash flow every single year. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that you didn't get this house for free and you had to use some money to buy it. The bank's gonna finance 80%. We already covered that in the expenses and the mortgage, but that 20% down is gonna have to come from you. There are ways to do all this without using any of your own money. I own $26 million worth of real estate without using any of my own money, but this video is more about the concept and how you can do it with the easy button of putting 20% down. Make sure you're following this channel and me on all my social media platforms to learn how to do this, and also to learn how to do this using other people's money. So again, you didn't get this house for free, you had to put 20% down. So 20% of the $200,000 purchase price is a $40,000 down payment. There are some expenses that you're probably gonna have to accrue for on top of that. The first one is closing costs. You do have to pay to close on the property and purchase it. It's different in every state. But for this example, let's say it costs you $3,000. And most of the time you're not able to buy a property that's in perfect condition. Let's say you had to do a few things to this property, so you put $5,000 into it after you bought it. In total, you need $48,000 to purchase and get this property ready to rent. Now that we know all the numbers, let's look at what your percentage return would be if you did this investment. You want to do this to make sure this is a good use of your money, but having this return percentage also allows you to compare this investment to other investments. So in order to find out your cash on cash return, you're going to divide how much money you're making every single year divided by your initial investment. As I said earlier, you're making $4,920 a year. Divide that by your $48,000 that you put into the deal, gives you a little bit over 10% or 10.25% return on your money. While that's a good initial filter, with real estate investing, you also get property increasing in value and you're getting the mortgage paid down by the tenant. So there are a couple other really great additional things to consider, but this is just so you can compare apples to apples. You also get tax benefits for investing in real estate. So just know that if this is exactly like another investment that you're looking at, real estate's probably better because there are other fringe benefits of investing in real estate. What we just calculated was your simple cash on cash return, but you're also making money 3 other ways when you invest in real estate. Number one, the property is going up in value. So that $200,000 house is going to be worth more and more every single year. Yes, of course, there are potential dips or plateaus, but overall it's going to go up over time. Also, that mortgage that you had, that initial $160,000 mortgage you had on the property, is getting paid down by the tenant. You're not the one paying it down, so you're getting equity by the property going up in value and the tenant paying the mortgage down. And lastly, you get tax benefits and write-offs for investing in real estate. So real estate's not just about cash on cash returns. There are other great benefits for investing in real estate. Before I give you the bonus tip, let's quickly recap what we just talked about. Knowing your numbers is extremely important. It can save you a lot of time and energy in the long run. It's just like anything else, you have to work at it, get better at it. It's like working out a muscle, but it's a new muscle, so it's gonna take time to get it strong. So don't get discouraged. Work on figuring out income, expenses, cash flow, and then your cash on cash return so you can make sure it's a good deal. You're gonna start to do this over and over, and you're going to start to get better at it. You're going to be able to come with stronger offers faster, and you're gonna buy more houses. You can lean on your real estate agent for a lot of this stuff, and we live in an extremely technical world. You can find anything you want to find by simply Googling it or probably looking on this channel. Bonus tip coming, make sure to like and subscribe if you have not. The bonus tip is, I alluded to it earlier, you don't have to use your own money. This is a simple way that most people think they have to buy real estate investment properties, but you don't have to use your own money at all. I own $26 million worth of real estate using this method, but putting a spin on it with the BRRRR method. I use other people's money to grow my wealth. If you would like a video that explains that a little bit better, check out this video above where I walk you through a real property and show you the numbers. See you on the next one.